Hello and welcome to another lesson of the Diabetes Doesn't Define Me program with Mariel Morales, diabetes educator, dietitian, and founder of the Diabetes Doesn't Define Me coaching program. And today we're going to answer one of the most common questions I get, and I also see posted on support groups. And the question is, what causes my blood sugars to rise? And specifically, we're going to talk about why are your fasting sugars first thing in the morning with nothing to eat elevated? So let's break down a little bit of some of the reasons why the blood sugars go up. One of them is when we have diabetes, our body no longer responds to things the way it used to, and we have to embrace that and accept that rather than fighting it. Otherwise, we will be frustrated our whole lives. And several hormones are involved that may not be working in sync. So there's a lot of hormones that are going to be coordinating efforts to control and regulate your blood sugars, but they may not all be in sync when you have diabetes. Oftentimes your glucose will be elevated and it's not going to be your fault. Like in the mornings when you wake up and you haven't eaten anything, it wasn't mainly your fault that it was so high when you woke up. And this makes it very frustrating when I hear my patients say, well, I've been doing everything in my power to control what I eat, to take my medications, and yet I'm still waking up with high glucose. And I want you to understand that not every person reacts to things, different factors, food, etc. the same way. So what spikes your sugars may not spike someone else. That's why diabetes is very, very individual. What makes my sugars go up may not be the same thing as what makes your sugars go up, and that it's okay. So today we're going to be discussing the dawn phenomenon. And this is why your sugars are high even if you have not eaten for hours, specifically in the middle of the night into the morning hours. So take a look at this picture. I love this picture from Must Be Inc. because it just really gives you an idea as to what's happening when you're asleep and then you wake up and all of a sudden your sugars are high. So on the very top of that picture, you can see your blood sugar maybe was 80, 100, 120 before you went to bed. So then you went to sleep and then you're starting to slowly get into the morning hours. About 2 a.m., 3, 4, 5. The sun is going to start rising soon and your body knows it. It's just how it was designed. So all of a sudden, things are going to start happening inside of you that when you wake up, now your sugars are in the 300s, 200s, 150, 170, depending. Everybody has a different number in the morning. But this is the reason. Growth hormone is released during the night, and it's going to decrease the use of sugar by, your muscles and things like that. And it's going to cause your sugars to stay high. And then it has the little puppy saying, here comes the sun. So the dawn phenomenon takes place early in the morning. With the rise of the sun, a rise in the blood glucose concentration occurs with no hypoglycemia during the night. So this means that we didn't have a low blood sugar when we were sleeping and our liver kicked in and sent sugar to rescue you. This is just that your body's hormones are reacting to the fact that the sun is going to come out soon and it's going to be time for you to wake up. Let's talk a little bit more about it so you have a better understanding. So what happens when I wake up? Well, when you wake up in the morning, your body needs to shift gears. It was on rest mode, right? You were in rest and repair mode. Once it's time to wake up and the sun comes up, your body knows that it's time to start your day. It's going to shift into the sympathetic function, which is the one that gets your body ready for the day. And the body is going to give you a little burst of energy from different hormones. They're going to raise your sugars and activate your muscles and your senses. If this didn't happen, guys, most of us would be too weak and too foggy brained to get out of the bed and get going. So this is an important thing that has to happen for us. The problem is this. So People that don't have diabetes, they have an advantage because their blood glucose goes up in the middle of the night, right closer to morning, but their insulin also goes up. So their livers are sensitive to insulin. And then the insulin is kind of telling the liver, hey, send a little bit of sugar to wake them up, but you need to stop now because they don't need that much sugar. But when we have diabetes and the blood sugars don't properly respond to insulin, then early in the morning, your glucose levels can rise dramatically, and this has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with what you ate the night before or the whole day before. This is just what your body is doing to wake you up and the response to glucagon, insulin, and growth hormones. So what's the problem? The thing is that it depends on how early your body starts releasing sugar and going pretty high. It can be a long time for the body to experience high blood glucose if you're having this phenomenon. And for some, the glucose increase is very little, but for others, it's very high. And when you add up the total number of hours spent in the dawn part of the morning, from 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. maybe, if you've been in an elevated range all those hours, it's going to have a major negative impact on your health and your organs will get damaged. So what can you do? There's things that we need to do on the medical side. So some people may have high glucose levels in the morning because their medication, like the insulin or the sulfonylureas, these are things like glipizide, glimepiride, glyburide, or even your metformin is wearing off during the night and it's not covering you all the way till waking up hours. So if you're on any long-acting medication like the metformin, or maybe you're on a long-acting insulin, you need to tell your doctor about changing your medicine dose. So maybe it needs to be increased, or maybe it needs to change the time that you take them so that they last through the night. So your doctor may recommend that you take your metformin later in the evening, and this could help put a lid on your liver so that it stops sending so much sugar. Now keep in mind that some medicines that they might give you can be too strong, and if your sugar gets too low during the night after this increase in dose or type of medication change, then you might experience a rebound high in the morning, and this is called Somogyi effect. So it's another effect. We drop in the middle of the night, and then our liver releases sugar to rescue us, and then you wake up with very high numbers. But the dawn phenomenon does not include low sugars in the night. It's just what your body's doing in the waking up hours. To prevent high fasting glucose. What I'm going to show you here is not going to be what works for everybody, so you need to journal it, you need to monitor and see if it works for you. One thing that works very well is that you eat a little bit of protein, like some nuts or cheese, before you go to bed. And doing this may keep you a low and steady level of glucose in your blood. And it's going to help prevent early morning lows or early morning highs. So some protein could help you before bed. Another thing is we need to do is we need to eat some food with fat and protein within 1 hour of waking up. Because if you wake up and you're one of those people that doesn't eat breakfast, you're going to actually allow the dump phenomenon to continue. You're going to continue to dump sugar instead of stopping that process. So it could be a hard-boiled egg, or it could be a protein smoothie, or it could be just regular breakfast. As long as you're eating something, you're kind of letting your body know, hey, I'm awake and I'm eating, I'm taking over. You don't have to send any more sugar. We might need to adjust the exercise schedule. So some people like to do it first thing in the morning, but if they're having high blood sugars in the morning, it might not be the best idea to work out in the morning. So you might need to switch it to a little bit in the afternoon or maybe in the evening to avoid the hormone surge from the morning and get even higher. And one thing that a lot of people talk about, believe it or not, vinegar is, the apple cider vinegar is a wonderful natural way of avoiding the dawn phenomenon. What you can do is take apple cider vinegar in either a tablet or a liquid form at night and in the morning when you wake up. Now there's more research that needs to be done, but a lot of people are talking about better numbers when they include this natural remedy. So it's worth for you to look into and see if you can utilize it. So vinegar, the apple cider vinegar has shown to reduce insulin resistance. So if you're not resistant to insulin, you'll be able to utilize the sugar that was released by your body and get it back into normal ranges. So if you want to learn more about diabetes and more about my Diabetes Doesn't Define Me program, you can go to www.lifeartistlink.com and make sure that you're following us on Facebook and on Instagram as Diabetes with a Twist. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.